I thank the chairman of the Finance Committee, and I want to renew my invitation to Senator Coburn of Oklahoma to please come to the floor, but to do it soon before my time expires. I called his office to make sure that he knew I was trying to reach him. I've spoken on the floor to alert the Republican side that I wanted to ask him to explain a statement which he made on the floor earlier today. The statement by Senator Coburn of Oklahoma said, "What the American people ought to pray is that somebody can't make the vote tonight. That's what they ought to pray." I am troubled by this statement. I want to give the senator from Oklahoma an opportunity to explain it, because the simple reality is that I don't think we should be wishing misfortune on any of our Senate colleagues on either side of the aisle. I don't know if this was an innocent statement or something that he now wants to clarify, but as stated, it troubles me. It troubles me because I'm afraid it reflects the situation we find ourselves in too often in the United States Senate, where people are literally invoking God's name and prayer for political purposes, and in this case to wish misfortune on one of our colleagues who wouldn't be able to make our 1 a.m. scheduled roll call. I don't wish misfortune on any of our colleagues.
Well, I would call a yield on that point.
I'd be happy to yield.
I'm just going to ask my colleague who knows Senate procedure so very, very well. Why are we having a 1 a.m. vote anyway? Isn't it possible it could be a different time?
I thank the senator from Montana because he's exactly right. Under the usual business of the Senate, we agree that we'll do something that is more thoughtful and humane and have a vote at an earlier time. Senator Reid has approached Senator McConnell and said, we have one of our senators, Senator Byrd of West Virginia, with significant health problems, who's been brought to the floor now early in the morning, late at night, in a wheelchair. He looks better than ever, I might add, but the fact is that he is being asked to show up at 1 in the morning because we couldn't reach what is usual comedy and gentlemanly accord on scheduling the vote. And it's unfortunate because now we face this 1 a.m. vote, and with no cooperation on the other side to even change the vote for a very humane reason.
All right. The requests on this side for a vote at a reasonable hour, say what now, it's 10 after 5, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, at a reasonable time instead of 1 a.m. have been rejected by the side.
Unfortunately, the senator from Montana is correct, and now a senator from Oklahoma says, and I quote, "What the American people ought to pray is that somebody can't make the vote tonight. That's what they ought to pray." I don't think it's appropriate to be invoking prayer to wish misfortune on a colleague, and I want him to clarify that. I've invited him. I've tried to reach out to him. He is my friend, and I have worked with him, but this statement goes too far. The simple reality is this. We are becoming more coarse and more divided here. It is understandable that we would disagree on political issues. That happens all the time. But unfortunately, we've allowed that political disagreement to spill over into our personal relationships and friendships here. And that really does hurt this institution. We rely on one another on both sides of the aisle so much. I would say from the start that Senator Reid has offered to the Republican side of the aisle accommodations and asked that we try to do things that might help the families and individuals who are in the Senate, and we've not had any luck to date. But hope springs eternal. I hope Senator Coburn can make it to the floor to explain his statement. Earlier this week, there was a prayer cast involving several senators. I didn't hear it. I only heard references to it where they were actually in a group praying for the defeat of this legislation on health care reform. It is their right to do that. I can recall as a high school football player saying a prayer that my team would win a football game. I don't know if God had enough time to worry about my little football game, but when it reaches a point where we're praying, asking people to pray that senators won't be able to answer the roll call, I think it has crossed a line. And I hope my colleague and friend from Oklahoma will come and explain exactly what he meant.